So what makes a group, a team compared to a group is common and shared vision, common goals, and common problem to solve, because every team is collective, is people are assembled together to solve a problem, and every business idea or entrepreneurial idea is about solving a specific problem. So the people who are working in a team are solving a specific and shared problem. So to say a team is a group, but a group is not necessarily a team. A group is a collection of individuals who coordinate their individual efforts, while a team is a group of people who share a common team purpose and a number of challenging goals. Here we can see in a systemic way how teams and groups are different. So the meaning collection of individuals who work together in completing a task, a group of persons or team having a collective identity joined together to accomplish a task. In case of leadership, in case of group, we have only one leader, or usually we do not have leaders. In case of team, there are many leaders and everyone can be a leader, and there are no formal leaders usually, if this team is not already developing into this formal organization type. So members are independent in the case of group. And then in the case of team, members are interdependent in a positive sense of this word. This doesn't mean codependent, this means interdependent. And in case of processes, we have discuss, decide, delegate, because in case of groups, people usually are not so much enthusiastic about doing the work, so they usually try to delegate their work to other group members. While in the case of team, we have this discuss, decide, do system, where people are very enthusiastic about the work, and they are also very enthusiastic about taking responsibility and doing this work. In case of work products, we have individual work products. This is very important. And in case of team, we have collective work products, which doesn't mean that in case of teams, we do not have individual, but we have also collective work products. So we're focusing, in case of groups, we're focusing on accomplishing individual goals. This makes them independent. And in case of teams, we're focusing on accomplishing collective goals. We have collective vision, we have collective problems to solve. In case of groups, our accountability is individually. If you remember, when we shared our ideas about team, the first one I wrote on the table was mutual responsibility, mutual accountability. So we have, in case of group, we have individual accountability, but in case of a team, we have either individual or mutual accountability. Okay, so as we're talking about having groups or better to develop a group or a team, and for us to make informed decisions and to be conscious about what type of work we're choosing, we also need to know about the advantages and disadvantages teamwork might bring together. So we're going to read it out. Team members have the opportunity to learn from each other. Yes, the best part about working in a team is that there are many people around you who have different skill sets from you, and you have this opportunity to collaborate with them and to transfer each other's skills to each other. New approaches to tasks may be discovered, and yes, this is one more good thing about collaborating with each other, is that creativity arises, and many people when are being interacted with each other, new approaches might be discovered. Team members can provide social facilitation and support for difficult tasks and situations. Yes, yet another good advantage of working in a team is the support, is that you can ask support and you can ask help anytime you want, and you will be supported. Communication and information exchange may be facilitated and increased. This is pretty clear. Teams can foster greater cooperation among team members. Clear again. Potential exists for greater acceptance and understanding of teammate decisions. This is a very, very interesting point. So imagine if you're working for an organization and you have a new idea for this organizational development path, and you present your idea to the decision makers. And statistically, your idea can have less possibility of being applauded, rather than when you show this, when you demonstrate this idea as a team, because people tend to trust to, for example, 5 people more than to 1 people. This is very natural and this is very human. So when you decide something as a team, this gets more possibility to be applauded and accepted as a new idea, rather than you present something as an individual. Greater autonomy, variety, identity, significance, and feedback for workers can occur. My favorite thing about working in a team is the feedback I can get, because when I work individually, there is no one who can share, who can compliment me, who can criticize me, who can look from the side to me. And when you're in a team, you can get feedback for free. And also this part of identity is very important, because we as humans can define our identity only in comparison to others. So when you're in a team, you can compare with others and maybe compete with others to see what are your strong points, what are your weak points, so you clearly can define a stronger perception of self. Team commitment may stimulate performance and attendance. If you remember times when you were, for example, learning a language and you were the only participant, you would probably recall being lazy to attend to the classes and being also less motivated when you were in a team and everybody was there and everybody was attending, and you might also develop friends in this stream. So statistically, people who attend team classes show better attendance results. We have this disadvantages part. Some individuals are not compatible. This is the most important part if you consider creating a team or becoming a team player. Some individuals are just not compatible with teamwork. And I would like to ask you, is there anyone, or maybe many people, who think of themselves as individual players rather than team players? Do you like working in a team, or do you like doing the things alone, individually? And which kind of work style you get better results?
Or working in the team, I guess.
Working in the team, great. Is there anyone who thinks they are more of an individual player?
I think it sometimes depends on the task. I would also say that I usually like to work in a team, but sometimes it's also that I'm really a fan of, doing my thing, sort of.
For me, for example, if I find a team that has common goals, which sometimes it may be called a team, but the goals do vary. But if I find people that do have common goals and do want to achieve them together and put the equal amount of work, not be dependent on each other as much, then it would be more fun to work as a team. But sometimes the group dynamics can differ. So you may do more work than other people, and it's not really a team play. That's when I would prefer to be more of an individual player than a team player.
Nice, thank you. Anyone else?
I think for me, this time we are infected by social media. So every one of us is a part of a WhatsApp group, and these things really make us not interacting each other. But I choose for being a team members. The team members, they discuss the problem, they decide the way of solving the problem, and then
Yes, great note, but WhatsApp teams have yet some characteristics to obtain to become a team.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Yes, I would say working in a team is very great because it allows you to correct yourself, because when you are in the team, people have the opportunity to assess what you are doing and to eventually correct you when you are wrong. And sometimes also our ego may be stung by the comment of people that it is better like that, because this is all about human nature. We are a social being and we cannot afford to tell ourselves that we are an individual player, so we don't want to engage with anyone. So yes, I like to work in a team. Thank you.
Thank you as well. I have always thought myself to be as an individual player until I worked in a good team. So yeah, this might change by time. The next point is conflict may develop between team members or other teams. And this is very natural, very human. If there is no conflict, it means there is no debating, there are no differences, different opinions, and conflict is good. Conflict is a sign of good interaction, but yes, you need to take this into consideration while developing a team or joining a team. Teams may be time-consuming due to the need for coordination and consensus. Yes, when you are working in a team, you need to know that the information should be, all the people should be informed, all the people should be agreed, and there are some things to be agreed on, to be decided on, reported. So this takes time and coordination. Teams can stymie creativity and inhibit good decision-making if groupthink becomes prevalent. Yes, this is so true sometimes, especially when in a group minority of people have different opinion about matters. These members might silence themselves because they don't want to come out as different, and groupthink may be prevalent. So this is yet another thing to take into account. Evaluation and rewards may be perceived as less powerful. Yes, this is sadly true, but when you get a reward as a team, you might feel it as less powerful. Imagine you getting a reward for the best product made individually, and imagine when your team gets the reward for the best product. Here you don't really have this clear definition who made the most effort, whose reward is this, so it kind of feels less powerful. Less flexibility may be experienced in personal replacement or transfer. Yes, again, when you're working in a team, different skill sets are being complementing each other. So in a team, for example, let's say this in a simple way, you're specializing yourself in Word and the other person is specializing themselves in, for example, Excel. So when this other person is leaving the team, is leaving the company, you are kind of alone with your Word knowledge. So you either have to work on yourself to develop faster your Excel knowledge, or you have to get someone who knows Excel. Okay, so before we proceed to the part how to build teams, we should have a look on how successful and highly effective teams look. So there is this famous 7 C's system, which shows the 7 words starting with C that describe an effective team. So it's common goal, and I can't emphasize this enough, this is the most important thing. And there is this saying that people join people, not company, people join mission, not company. So yet have this in your mind while starting a team. Cohesion, collaboration, commitment, communication, continuous improvement. This is how a good, effective working team looks like. And we're slowly proceeding to the part how to effectively build a team. So the first and very already overused word is mission. This is the thing that is basically assembling people together and is driving them. And the statistics show that people who resonate with the company's mission they're working in, they have more productivity, they have higher productivity, higher enthusiasm. This helps. So it is the shared commitment to a specific mission that helps define a team. A mission statement can provide powerful documentation about the team's purpose, creating a mission statement requires team members to think about, discuss, come to agreement on the following questions. Yes, if you're building a team and you're already in the processes of developing this team into an organization, I highly recommend you to have mission statements written down so that everybody who just joins the team can have this resonance with mission and can be clear and can be sure about this. So basically, these are the questions that need to be reflected in the mission statements. What is the work that we were both together to do? Why can this work best be done as a team? This is a very good question. Why is it better to done this work as a team rather than just a team leader? What will be different as a result of our working together? What will our work create for our organization, our team, and ourselves? People actually want to know that the work that they are doing is meaningful and brings value to the environment, to the community they're living. And people actually are very much more open about joining Red Cross, for example, rather than joining private businesses that only the business leader gets value from. Have this in your mind. The next most important thing is goals. So goals are basically the smaller, more specific mission statements. And mission statements give a driving force and guiding principles, but goals give the team real target for their activities. So the team members can be sure about what they are working on, what needs to be done, when, and so on. Goals, I know you've heard this zillions times, but yeah, your team goals should also be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Roles and responsibilities. Of course, before sharing roles and responsibilities, you need to have collected the right people around who represent different complementary skill sets. But we will come to this back later, so we're not going very thorough now. It's particularly important in a team environment that the team members know what is expected of each of them. Without these expectations, members can develop mutual accountability or trust in the team. When a team's expectations are clear and members meet expectations, trust and increased sense of teamness are natural byproducts. Yes, so you just need to clearly divide and state what are each teammate's roles and responsibilities. Ground rules. These are basically guidelines for behaviors in a team, and this can be very specific, and this can cover all the areas of teamwork. For example, how we communicate, what are our platforms and sources of communication, how we share information. Do we share it right away when we get it, or do we have some formal meetings when we share the information? What constitutes a respectful behavior toward the teammate? What is not encouraged to do as a team player? This is very important to have also no statements in your ground rules statement document, so that the team players are sure about what is not applauded in your team to do. Decision making and leadership structure. Yes, there are many different systems of different models of leadership structure and decision making models, but what is very important is to be transparent and to be explicit about it, so that all team members understand how all the decisions are being made and how are other members involved in this process. So the questions to be reflected are: will decisions be made by consensus where everyone can agree to support the final decision? Will the team leader get input but make the final decision? This is a very important point to reflect. Will the team vote? So are we having a democratic teamwork, or is the leader deciding everything and then sharing their decisions? Knowing what decision-making model will be used lets team members know what to expect and what is expected. This can help build support for the final decision. And for this point, I'd suggest you to check RASCI metrics, which is about responsibility assignment. So this basically can give you some tips about what kind of decision-making involvement types there are, because there is this kind of consulting, informing, or reporting, or asking, or yes, different kinds. So if you have a look on this later of this training, if you have a look on this, you'll make clear it. Success and failure, rewards and promotions. People are people, and people want recognition and appreciation, and success, and having a clear state about what is considered success and failure makes people either take it, the success, or escape it in any way possible. So you need to clearly define what success looks like and what is considered a failure. What I want to emphasize here is, in a good team working environment, leaders should maintain practices where you do not punish for failure, rather discuss lessons learned. Establish a reward system with your team and be transparent about promotion processes. You can, for example, have some grading document where certain kinds of activities get certain kinds of points, and you get people promoted depending on these points. So this promotion process is all clear and transparent for everybody, not to let any gossiping. Celebrate successes. This is very important, and this is not only about, because you need to not only celebrate birthdays and New Year, you also need to celebrate successes. And this does not mean that you need to reward for every success, but you need to recognize and appreciate every success. And this refers both to team successes and individual successes. And employees need recognition and appreciation. That is the key for high performance. I assure you that is the key for high performance.